You know how we've been talking about these sculptures that we've been making, and they are portraits of us. It's kind of about our identity and who we are in the world and how we want the world to see us. To add some landscapes into these maps of the trees and drawing the landscape around the school. Imaginary creatures that have come to the landscape, and real creatures and real trees.
Colours. If your morning was a colour, what colour would it be?
Pink.
Cry as well.
You're going to draw it with a pencil?
I had a pencil. Wake up.
I guess from your perspective, what has been the biggest impact of working with art in nature on the children?
They love spending time outside, but the artist really made them look really closely, and they discovered things that they didn't notice were there before. For example, one child has shown better listening skills for definite because he's been so interested in literacy, has really flourished through doing these art activities because he really loves art. But he's taken on slightly more like leadership roles as well, and that's also transferred into the classroom. He's sort of more confident to be able to kind of watch their different behaviours in different situations has been.
So even though it's been focused on art, do you feel that actually there is substantive content in what we're doing that can be drawn into the rest of the curriculum?
They've actually been more engaged to write through doing the drawings and writing. Actually, yeah, they've done some really good writing, and especially descriptive writing as well, some of the language they've used.
So you could see the benefits of the practice, that even though it's taking up curriculum time, more productive in some ways. Yeah, it did make me laugh because one or two of the children have said, "Oh, brilliant, Monday, we don't have to do any learning today." And that sort of makes me quietly smile because you know that they are learning.
Looked at art more as creating rather than drawing, and I have found that a lot with their we've done a bit of art in between this as well, so I've found that they're a lot more accepting of their own work. They've got a much more positive attitude, not towards art but towards themselves in relation to art. And I think it's shown throughout the progression of the sessions that whatever they produce is their piece of art. It doesn't have to be the same as anybody else's. It's not being judged against anything, I think they're realising that actually there's a lot more around them than they ever realised around them. And actually it's made me stop and look at it a bit more as well, to be honest. They've never really noticed the trees before. The long grass, they love the long grass. So yeah, I've really enjoyed getting to know the children a bit more through art because it's at a slower pace and it's more of a discussion. It's more holistic, you get. I would love to do some outside work because I think it leaves so many more, it opens up so many more channels.
Well done! They're all looking beautiful.
Oh, it was quite frustrating because, like, when you write on your skin, it just keeps like moving and it's hard.
So it's not like a flat surface like a sheet is, and they got a lot of like bumpy ends and all of that. So you need to just work with it.
How you selected what you actually drew on your hand, Emily? So how did you?
It was supposed to be what it meant, what stuff meant to us, and what we enjoyed.
Nice.
And some of them showed us, like represented us and how we are.
Do you think that's important?
Yeah, because if you don't represent yourself, people won't know what you like to do.
It was the amulet. Can you tell us a little bit about the amulet, Emily?
When we did it, we had to figure out what we wanted it to be about.
And did you choose the topic?
Yeah.
I could.
So we first need to think of a word that something that represents us that we should start with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started with football.
Yeah.
My amulet is inside the gem, the heart. Inside the heart, the broken heart. Inside the broken hearts, the spilled tea. Inside the spilled tea, the drama. Inside the drama, the apologies. Inside the apologies, the gifts. Inside the gifts, a box. Inside the box, the gem.
We've been doing some of our art sessions outside. Tell us a bit about how that's been.
Oh, beyond that gate, we literally just ran off the top of the field and like.
Beyond that gate was a very new area for you altogether, wasn't it? The first time, how did you feel when you went the first time there? This is
What's it gonna look like and how we're gonna feel when we're in it?
Yeah. Yes, okay.
Curious because I'd never been there before, and like I just wanted to know what was over there. We actually went into like the trees.
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
It's like a feeling like, you know, in Germany when there was like the thing where there was two walls that separated the people and in what they believed in, and they got past walls and past the security guards and didn't get shot while running. And that's like the feeling when you get past all of them.
How did being outside, because we did all those art activities outside, how do you think that influenced or affected your work?
Like it was
If
like
at all?
a little bit easier because like when we were doing landscapes and everything, we could like, because it's more peaceful than it is inside. We didn't even need songs because the birds were singing for us.
I think it was a bit easier because if you're doing it inside the classroom, it'd be quite chaotic because you'd be in one like room and then there's like really loud and you can't concentrate. But when you're outside, there's lots of space and it's calm
And it's really peaceful.
Yeah, it's peaceful.
Yeah, you like spread out.
Fun because I was noticing like how many different things there are to the world.
Like Ricky said, when the grass was growing, like there was actually hairs trying to hide in the grass.
We were so lucky with the hairs, weren't we?
I like when the grass was long and beyond the gate because it really tickled my legs. It's definitely made me like think of taking more care of nature, and it definitely made me like think how lucky we are to have such a beautiful world.
Beyond the gates,
I had one perspective on nature. I didn't really like it, but when you took us there, it gave me a different perspective on it, and now I really like it.
So if you could say one thing to and the Prime Minister and his government about this project and how you think things from this project should change your education.
We need to do more stuff outside. Outside gives you fresh air.
To like do more like this, like to give more people chances, and it's just really nice, and I think he could do that more to more people.
Because when we sit inside, it's not good for us to be sitting down all day like we normally do. We need to be moving, otherwise when we grow up we'll be really lazy. So then we have more energy and we'll get to do more stuff. So then we are happier and we're healthier.
Want to participate in this project?
Specifically, I feel very passionately about, the fact that they are our future. They have to learn how to be well outdoors, and there is so much inspiration in working outdoors that it makes...
For them, when they were outside, although they do go outside on the field, but what we were asking to do was a different relationship with the outdoors. So I think over the 8 weeks, it's been a subconscious emergence of this ability to just reflect with the outdoors and have that influence your work. And responsibility as well. Like allowing them to have responsibility.
Agency.
So this is as much mine as it is yours being in this space outside, whereas in a classroom it's very much a performative thing, it seems like.
And I think with the artwork that we really focused on, it was about expressing, articulating, representing themselves in the world, not in that very limited screen world, but also not in that very limited curriculum academic world. So allowing them to reach beyond what the classroom traditionally has, of late, has imposed on them.
So I think the impact has been, allowing them to express themselves and get out of this idea of it being right or wrong. I think there was a lot of barriers with that, wasn't there?
Slow time, tree time? When a tree grows, it's not done. It's not TikTok time. I think that's what we were balancing: TikTok versus tree time. And the classroom is a tiny space for a lot of small, bursting, curious, passionate young people. And going outdoors just does give them more space, more freedom to explore and be well.
My own practice is linked to nature, and I draw my inspiration from nature, and I think nature is an excellent conduct to teach and be with young children. First of all, to get them to possibly connect with nature, and through that bias connect with art.
I never had that chance to be outside for that long within a school setting. So to have that is, setting a tone that is obviously very different from their usual practice. What was very special for us is that we went to a place they usually have not access to. Although it belongs to the school, it is beyond a very, very large gate. And you should have seen the excitement of the children. The first day that gate was open, it was screams of joy. Children said to me, "We are in heaven." First it looks quite barren because it's just a huge field, the size of 2 football pitches, with trees on its edge only. But that big opening somewhere, it was like an invitation to think, an invitation to imagine, and an invitation to be together. So, you know, at first there were some of the children used sticks to actually destroy nature and to whack each other. But what happens if you start looking at a stick and start to think, what sort of shape does this stick have? Is it just straight, or does it curve, or does it have things happening along? And what if a stick becomes a tool to draw a different way of being with nature? So instead of just going out and just looking at nature as being something that is not part of you, nature you become connected to it, and you start being part of nature, which we all are in a way, but we just forget it so much. So I think it's trying to get the children to be interested in a natural world. I think once I had gained their trust, once they could see that we were doing fun things and they were learning and they were doing different things and they were enjoying themselves, I think they were really willing to try. And I had moments where I felt I didn't need to be there. They were completely immersed in activities, and sometimes I set them tasks which I thought were of the impossible order, but they were always surprising me and always producing extraordinary things. I think they generally have enjoyed nature, and generally they have changed. They seem to be kinder. They seem to be able to express what they notice, and they seem to be taking pride of noticing things. Yeah. And they have a very nice way of moving around nature as well.